Hi guys, welcome back to Anadialogue, the dialogue on analog music reproduction. In this episode, we're going to talk about something very special. A very special type of medium. Actually, we're going to talk about tape, but a different kind of tape. A very high quality, unsuspiciously good tape. What am I talking about? I'm talking about VHS. Yes. We all know these, I think. Maybe those of you who have born in the 90s, maybe not. Maybe you remember your parents. I don't know. But all the rest of us know perfectly much better these than Blu-rays or DVDs, etc. But stop. See, here's the tape. We're not going to talk about normal VHS. As you know, this is an analog based on music reproduction channel. So, obviously, we're not going to talk about movies. Want to know what we're going to talk about? Stay tuned! Okay guys, so as I was saying, today we're going to talk about this other special type of magnetic tape, because this is magnetic tape. Its main purpose of VHS, Video Home System, the acronym, which actually was, the original acronym was Vertical Helicoidal Scan. And we're going to try to address that, what that means, and why it's so interesting for audio. So, we don't care about these actually. Today, in fact, we're going to focus on the audio qualities of VHS. Yes, a lot of people know about this. It's not a mystery. I'm not the first talking about this, but it's good to remember to everyone that VHS is a very high quality medium because it has special characteristics that delivered at a certain point good quality, pretty good quality, very good quality, we could say images, but especially it delivered very high quality, high fidelity audio. So let's take a step backwards and let's try to see what we're talking about, what's happening here, okay? So first of all, back in the days, in the around the 50s, people were trying to understand how to reproduce video instead of doing live images through FM. We needed a medium to record video. Now, as we know, audio was perfectly reproducible easily. You just needed a good quality tape, a certain speed. But with video, no, you need a very, very high speed because the frequency at which video goes is around 5 megahertz. And instead, when we're talking about audio, at its maximum, usually it's 20 kilohertz, which is much, much less. I mean, we're talking millions instead of thousands. So obviously, there were a lot of tentatives, a lot of trials, a lot of experiments to do very high quality speed film and machines in order to reproduce the video signal. But that was not taking place. It was too difficult. You need too much tape. There were huge machines. Wrong approach. Finally, Ampex, and then in a subsequent phase, especially JVC, who invented VHS, but first was Ampex, who thought of moving the heads instead of the tape. So the result, I'm going very quickly, obviously, in the history of this. So besides the tape moving, we're also having the head moving. That's the trick. In fact, the head of a VHS, of a VCR, a video cassette recorder, goes at 1,800 revolutions per minute, which is a lot. It's insane. How fast that is going. Plus, Usually you have 4, but also you can reach, I think, around 6 heads reading that tape. So I want to say, at this moment, I want to say thank you to Eric from France, who actually pointed out this. Because I was recording music on VHS, but I never thought about this fact of the velocity of the heads, of the vertical helicoidal scan heads, because that's the trick. Not only we're having super fast reading, which translated, in fact, if we take a look at the scheme on the Audio Engineer's Reference Book, let's take a look. You can notice that let's take a look at the specs. So the tape width is 12.65 millimeters. So it's already a big tape. The tape itself is going at 33.35 millimeters per second. Okay. Then you can see the diameter of the VHS cylinder, which is 62 millimeters. But what we're interesting is the relative speed. As you can see, it's 5.m, but the ratio on the left here is not millimeters. It's meters per second. Yes, guys, it's 5.884 should be meters per second. So at that speed, I know it's a combination of the tape speed and the head, which is reading very, very fast the data on the tape, which means that we have an incredible quality, which was completely hidden. Nobody could ever think about this, that audio quality was reaching this elevation, because the dynamic range, for example, it's higher than a CD. It's beyond 90 dB, the dynamic range of a VHS. I think it's something amazing. And in fact, in a moment, we're also going to experiment this. So just a few other elements here. The information is recorded in a diagonal way in very long lines. This was helping to prevent huge types of tapes. The width was rather constrained, not too wide, and in this way you could put a lot of data in this solution. That's why you have the drum of the VCR is slightly tilted, because it's reading. Obviously, there's all kinds of parameters of tones in order to do not make mistakes in the reading of this data, of this information. I mean, it's very complicated. I'm not going to go in that. That's the video part. But I do need to explain a little bit things of the video in order to understand the audio part. So you have the data obviously recorded in this way. The heads, which are very teeny tiny heads inside the drum, are also put at different azimuth inclinations. So the head knows exactly to which head needs to read which part of this combination of information. It's amazing. I mean, the technology behind this in order to reach these 3.8 all the way up to 5 with super VHS, we're going to reach even almost 8 megahertz in the signal, much higher than broadcast quality. That's amazing. Obviously, the color gamut, the color reproduction was not as good. We're talking about luminance. But again, that's something else. We're talking about the video. Now we're going to jump in audio. But this is important because on the tape, beyond the recording of this frequency, because we're talking about a very high frequency, behind that, on a different frequency, was also recorded audio. But the audio was getting the best from this medium, since the rotations were the same. So the audio data is being read at 1,800 RPM with this speed, which is, I mean, Eric calculated around 94% more than a reel-to-reel high-quality speed. It's insane. Okay, so Now maybe I got you even too much hyped, because I mean the quality is good, but you're not gonna rip your hair off. I mean, it is good. It is very good. In fact, we're gonna do a comparison. But I mean, it has, as you can imagine, its limitations. But the fantastic, interesting part is that this is not known. A lot of people do not know this because it was always used for video. Okay, so one important thing if you want to try out this, because the good part, obviously, is that these types of VCRs do not cost that much. You can find them on eBay and other sites for just a few bucks, maybe a little more. It depends. If you do want to buy one, if you don't have it at home, try to find something already serviced, okay? Refurbished, set with all the new elastics inside, rubber bands. Otherwise, you might have some issues. So if you want to try out this, please check something out of a lab, perhaps, or if someone else serviced his own VCR. So again, what is the fundamental aspect? Well, the fundamental aspect here is that you have to buy, or you have to look for hi-fi VHS, okay? That's the turning point. Because before hi-fi VHS, you had a very narrow, low quality of audio, which was along, almost like in cinema, like old cinematography filmmaking, where the audio was on the sides of the image. The same was in the old VHS. Afterwards, when they introduced hi-fi, the signal was full band and it was beneath at a different, we could say, depth inside the main part of the tape in the center. And we're looking for that. That's the best of the best. Okay, so before closing the video, I wanted to show up close how a good VCR with hi-fi capabilities looks like. I will put some suggestions in the video description regarding good quality tape recorders. I think one of the best groups are those offered by Panasonic, because we have very high quality at an affordable price. So for example, this is a very famous model. It's the NV-FS200. As you can see here, hi-fi stereo. You have to look for this. Usually it goes together with Super VHS, but you don't care about that. Just look for hi-fi stereo. That's a very good index of quality. As you can see, this has 4 heads, even 6 heads obviously is even better. You have also a lot of good inputs, but something you really need to look, I think, if you want to do high quality recordings, is to look for this. So you can control the recording level. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult. Plus, if that's present, hence the VU meters, which will appear here, that means that in that case, the whole machine is designed to record high quality audio, since it's giving you control over that, okay? It's practically like a cassette tape recorder, since you have this type of solutions, of options, in order to calibrate the correct level of your recordings. Okay, so since I'm at it, I just want to show you a few basic operations. So let's turn it on. Okay. As you can see, the VU meters are down, all the way down. Everything is silent. As I said, here you have the rec level. So I'm going to press play now on the CD player. And as you can see, the VU meters are starting to bounce. And here you can regulate the intensity, which usually should not go too much over 0, or you should stick around 0 for better results. And at that point, you just get your nice little cassette and you pop it in, guys. Typical noise of a VCR. Enjoy! I forgot to mention that the frequency response is practically the same of that of a CD. We're talking about 20 hertz all the way up to 20,000 hertz. So we have the same exact frequency response of a CD, but the dynamics range is better. And we're talking about the 80s, 90s, but even already in the 80s we had this. And we did not know that. We're going after complex and very expensive reel-to-reel machines where with this fantastic technology inside our VCR, the helicoid scan, I mean, we could have enjoyed hi-fi audio already with that simple machine. It's incredible.